Welcome to the Komodo community race organized by Daza, and as you can see we started in the dark and with our sails down. In a moment Daza is going to start the race and we're going to head off towards a little island over here, and you can go around it either way. In the beginning I thought about going over the top of it. In the end I went below it. So the race has begun, and you'll see me try to put my sails up. I thought I'd get them up straight away, but I actually had to do them manually, and as I get my halyard up I start to turn, and I put the Yakka up at the same time, trying to be a little bit quick and sneaky. And yeah, I set up the trim, and we're going to go into a little bit of a fast action sequence here, just showing me doing some trimming. It's still dark, it's still about 10 minutes before sunrise, and in the gloom you can see the sails of Des and Pep's Ghost and quite a few other people. Alright, so as you can see the race started pretty well. There seems to be a bit of a diaspora with people going everywhere. I'm still thinking about which side of the island I'm going to go to, but I decided to track north to begin with, get a little bit of an angle, and then make a decision. I decided that I wanted to go to a bearing point, so I needed to do a lot of adjusting of sails. If I'd done it another way, it would have been a little bit easier for me if I just kept the wind angle. But here we go, I'm about to make my turn and head west towards the islands. As you can see, the sun's just starting to rise now, and the group that's below me with Chris and Des are getting in front of me. So even though my efforts to go northwest, I thought I'd get a little bit of an advantage, they overtook me. A little while later, and we're getting close to the islands here. At one point to the east of this, I had decided that I wasn't going to go north, that I would follow and go south and around the island. The group below me is Corsair and Blackborough, and there was one other guy, I can't remember who it was now, but they were in front of me, probably because I was in two minds, and they took a more direct path. They got a slight advantage on me coming up to this southern tip. You can see the isthmus jutting out there, so you've got to get around that and then up north. And as I point out some of the other boats, and then we go into a little bit more of a time warp to get me to around the isthmus, and start trekking northwest. Around this part it was quite nice because there was 3 or 4 of us all in fairly close proximity. Some of the guys said that they thought that they could see further in this build. I'm not quite sure about that, but certainly in these medium style races you keep the group together a little bit more, and it feels like much more community based rather than the long races where you sort of lose contact with people for a long period of time and end up just looking at the sea. Anyway, I'm about to turn here, and you can see that I jibe across, and I'm hoping to make a good path upwards. Anyway, we move forward in time a little bit, and I've switched from the Yakka to the Kodo. This will give me a little bit more speed in this leg. I'm pretty sure that the guy that's racing out there with the red sail, that's a Yakka, so I think I have him in control. And as you will see in this time lapse, sped up about 2.5 times, that I start catching Blackborough and Corsair as well. So I think that I focus mostly on the map here, and you guys can see that I'm moving pretty fast, getting into the 9.8s, 9.9s. I never get as fast as my TWS, but I'm not too worried. I wasn't too worried about that. Just little adjustments here and there as we move up the coast. And you can see that the guys that went north, Des and Chris on boat, have finally got around the top of the island, and they come down pretty quickly. And at this stage, I'm thinking to myself, these guys probably have the advantage because I think that they have the better wind in the tacking. But and there goes Chris, port on port there, and you can see Blackborough and I fighting it out. I feel like he's getting a little close at times, but what can you do? I think I even warned him at one stage. And I believe he does a little bit. Now up here, I change over from the Kodo to the jib. This is my fault. He goes through me because I was changing, and I should have given him more room while I was changing. And we head off over the north part and then down, and skipped quite a bit here, and this became a attacking duel between Blackborough and myself. Corsair decided to go in basically a east-northeast direction, whereas Blackborough and I decided to track down and see if we can get some advantage over Corsair. Chris and Des have finally turned around the south end of the island as Blackborough and I continue to, sorry about the sun here by the way, to tack. The guys down south didn't get the advantages that I thought they might, and Dejalore finally had to go to bed, so he withdrew from the race. But Chris tried valiantly to catch us. They just had to make up a little bit too much time. And as you can see, both Blackborough and I are basically just matching tacks back and forth. Still sped up here just to see a little bit of the action. The sun was definitely in my eyes for most of this. Listening to music and just trying to get into a good rhythm of seeing when the wind was oscillating to move from port to starboard tack. And you can really see how close Blackborough and I are the whole way down. Yep, there he is there, very nice. Pity about the sun. His white sails don't help either with the video mode. He's trying to be in camouflage. Anyway, and on we go. Going to jump forward again in a moment. Yep, jump forward again, and we're getting much closer to the line now. Still about 30 or 40 minutes out, and you can see that both of us, he's in front of me, and I know that I need to make up this distance. So this is where my short race practice has come into good effect, because I do like doing the short races, and it certainly has helped my tacking skills. Anyway, we're just joking about because I keep on getting into Blackburrow's wind. Get wind shadows here and there. I'd had one on the top of the island as well, and you can still see the Corsair is up there to the north, and these other two guys are still following us. I still think they have a little bit of an advantage, but it's becoming more and more clear that Blackburrow and I have probably picked a better path, with Corsair maybe in with a shot. The whole thing with racing like this is that you know, sometimes people go north or go south and you think they're out of it a little bit, but actually, you know, it's they can zoom down and get you at the end. And this is where I was a little bit worried that Corsair had moved and changed. Anyway, a little bit later on again, and it's becoming clear that Blackburrow and I are really in a huge tacking duel, which has lasted for about 40 minutes now, and Corsair, and we're all worried, well, I was worried anyway that Corsair was going to get us, but he decides to twist his boat there for some reason, and we have another little cut coming up soon, so that, and you see that I'm starting to get the advantage on Blackburrow here. Just checking my VMC and looking at the trim again, and yep, by this point in the race I think to myself that I've got Blackburrow covered, and the only worry for me now is Corsair, if he can get down fast enough. And then right at the end of the race here, you can see that Blackburrow is still there, and Corsair just comes into the map picture here, and I'm about to take line honours, which is a pretty nice thing considering the company of skippers that were in this race. Some pretty good tactical skippers, and I feel a little bit humbled by the whole thing, that I did actually get it right this time. So we have Practical Tangent on the line calling out the race winners. Thank you to him. And yep, I finished. So very nice. And then we'll look back and in a moment, and we'll see that Corsair actually gets Blackburrow on the line. There's only a couple of seconds in it, and he turns back and comes past my stern, not hurting the paintwork, and Blackburrow just seconds behind. So a very good race for those two guys as well. And then we'll finish with a little bit of bump. A little bit of dancing. And a little bit of skirts up. Anyway, guys, and here comes Chris across the line. Thank you.